Lynn Narings, she is final rep champion from the Benelux. In this episode, we had a very important conversation with final rep champion Lynn Narings. We talked about street lifting and on how she overcame the challenges she faced on the way. Also, she gives a lot of tips on how to get started with calisthenics, and we discussed on how she thinks that we can make calisthenics as a sport more welcoming to women. So let's get to it. So today we have a very special guest in our podcast, and we will be discussing very interesting topics, which is, for instance, calisthenics for women. We are with Lynn Narings. She is champion from the Benelux in final rep, and also there she took 3 world records. 2 of them were already beaten in the final rep Germany, but she is still an amazing street lifting and calisthenics athlete. So Lynn, I was checking your Instagram yesterday, and I saw many posts where you mentioned girl power. So
Yes.
Our first question is, what does that mean, girl power, for you?
Girl power. I think there are a lot of people that don't know how strong girls really are. I guess it's just a quote also, and a hashtag you use a lot. But
Yeah.
I think girls are really strong, and I think that girls can show their strong points more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think just girl power. It's just a quote.
You are definitely a very powerful girl.
Thank you.
It's amazing how fast you grew. I saw the whole progression, and you've been doing this for a year, a little bit over a year.
Yeah.
And your numbers are just ridiculous. Very proud of you, how you did in final rep. Super great. And just a quote that I just mentioned as well during the beginning of this podcast, Melanie Dries had a t-shirt on. Melanie Dries is a very famous female athlete, and she had a quote which was how was it? Not just strong for a woman, but just strong.
Yeah.
And how do you think about this? If a man comes to you and says to you hey, you're very strong for a girl, what's your reaction?
Yeah, well, I think, people just, like I just said, people on the rest, they don't think that women are just strong and not strong for a woman.
Yeah.
So, people are just, especially men, they are just trying to, I don't know, it's a little bit, they think that only men are strong, but also women are strong. And you're not just strong as a woman, but you're strong overall, not just because you're a woman. So I think it's hard to say, but I don't think they mean it like bad or anything. But
you would definitely win in every category of street lifting from me. I would be defeated quite easily. So you're definitely very strong. So in that way, we are seeing in the calisthenics scene, for instance, in final rep, right, there were 18 women competing, and there were 48 men competing. And we see a similar trend in also freestyle competitions, where sometimes you don't even have a female category, and sometimes also just not that many. When we were in Brussels, for instance, it was really amazing that there were 2 categories of women last year in the Brussels Freestyle Cup. And also you had, the year before, you had 16 athletes, which was great. So what do you think that the sport needs? What are the challenges for women to get started and to get into calisthenics and street lifting?
I think that the sport, especially calisthenics, is growing, not only for women, but also for men. So it's just getting started, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There are so many women, they are just going to the gym. I think there are a lot of women, they go to the gym and they're bored, just gymming, because I had the same. It's just every day is the same, and also I think for men. So then you get used to calisthenics, or you start to train calisthenics, and it's really different. There are so many challenges, like there's so much to do more than just go to the gym. And I think like for women, it's really hard to start because they don't know how to start.
Yeah.
And well, I think it's just growing. And also the past few like year, I am doing calisthenics. I have seen so many women like starting calisthenics, and everyone likes it. I have never met someone who tried calisthenics and didn't like it. So I think the sport is just really growing and not outgrowth yet. So there's going to be
just the beginning.
So that's why I think there's like only 60 women like competing, because the women are just getting started. I think in it, like maybe next year already, or in a few years, like maybe the women will take over.
I hope so.
I think so. Because there are so many also, like my coach is training now a lot of women, and they're all getting so strong. You see them grow amazing. Like, I don't know, but it's getting so popular. So I think like the woman time will come.
For sure. What do you think? So for instance, those women that your coach coaches, I saw them at Final Rep, and anyway, all the women at Final Rep, it's just amazing how they're doing. So I'm very curious how that will grow, and you discussed this as well in the Muscle Up podcast with Nadine, and so where do you see potential obstacles for women for the sport as a whole? How can we make it more welcoming for women to get into the sport?
I think first of all that they're like, besides the normal gyms like Basic Fit and stuff, that's like gym stuff. I started my calisthenics journey there as well, actually.
Right.
But people always look at you like, what are you doing? Because they don't know, like they only know the basic gym stuff like bench press, and you know what I mean. So if you're doing like pull-ups as a girl, like everyone is looking at you, and I don't think it's always in a bad way. They're also like impressed, but I think there's like, especially for women, they had to look for a gym where they feel confident, because there are a lot of people, like especially men, they're looking like, what are you doing? It's just not nice. I had the same thing, and I think that if you go to a gym like yours was more like a calisthenics gym, like everyone feels very confident there. You're all in the same position, like everyone goes for the same goal, and that really helps you like reaching your own goals.
The atmosphere at your sports and more is just amazing.
It's great.
And this is definitely a great place to start, but not everybody has this kind of gym. As you said, and by the way, some gyms have like a specific women area where they can train. But for instance, if you train outside in a calisthenics park, have you ever trained in the calisthenics park, and how did you feel there? Like,
I did. I think I did it a few times. We had a meeting last summer in a calisthenics park.
In Eindhoven, right?
Eindhoven. You were there?
No, I wasn't there. But
it was really nice. There were a lot of calisthenics group there that we didn't know yet. And there, I don't know, it just feels like really like chill, because everyone, like I said, is in the same position. Everyone does the same, has the same goals. So, and then those men, they look different to you because they really know how hard you have to train for something that you're doing, because they do the same. So it really was really, I really liked it to go to a calisthenics park. And also when I first started, like last summer, I went with Jordan to train sometimes in the park. It's just really nice. It's chill, like outside training in the sun. It just hits different. It's really nice. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's true. I do have a WhatsApp group in a specific calisthenics park in Maastricht. And the amount of women in that WhatsApp group is definitely less than the amount of men. And also when you go to a calisthenics park, you see more men training there often. But recently when I was at that specific park, Mirte came by and inspired some women there, and also anyway amazed the men as well. They were like, wow. Like she did like 5 muscle-ups as a warm-up. So really, really crazy, which reminds me as well of randomly maybe, but the post you did as well when there was this podcast shared where they said like, what's the average pull-ups, unassisted pull-ups that women can do, and then the reaction was like, okay, 0, right? And I saw your post and you said like they just haven't met any calisthenics girls, right? So that's super nice. And I mean, you weren't the only one sharing that, right? Like being
it was really popular that time. Exactly. Everyone used it.
Exactly. Yeah. And you wanted to make clear that a lot of women can do pull-ups.
Yeah.
And quite a lot of them, and even very weighted. How much did you do at the final rep? How many kilos did you pull?
Well, my pull is my weakest lift, but I did 31.25, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. So when it comes to these women that also were posting that reel, what are the women that inspired you in the beginning of your journey?
I think first of all, because she was the only, I was pretty early. I think I was one of the, not one of the first, but pretty early. Like now there are a lot more women that do calisthenics, especially streetlifting. But of course Nadine, because she was like also with my coach, and of course she was like very strong ever since I met her. And she always inspired me. I mean, she is the strongest girl I think like we have, especially in her category, because she's world champion, of course.
Right.
I always looked up to her. She is like doing great on social media. She's doing great at her lifts. She is doing great at the studies. She combines everything, and I really feel related to her because she always has her like days fully stacked with appointments and studying, and I have the same because I work a lot. I do personal trainings, like my own trainings. They take a lot of time. It's like a full-time job almost,
right,
next to your full-time job. So I really can relate to her because I know how hard sometimes it can be to combine everything.
Yeah.
So that's, she is the one I look up to the most, I think.
Amazing how you combine all of that. Were there any other ladies that inspired you?
Yeah, I'm thinking actually.
Maybe also outside of streetlifting.
Yeah, there were some people on Instagram that I followed, which I just like their body, like how it looks.
Right.
But I don't think there's I cannot come up right now if there's somebody else I really looked up to. I mean, I think there are some, but at this moment I can't say.
All right. So about the way you look and about how you look to these women. So another thing besides girl power is you mentioned muscle mummies in your post a lot. And I've also heard that term a lot in the gym.
Yeah.
So what does that mean for you?
I don't know where it comes from, actually. It just was like a hype. Everyone used that hashtag.
Muscle mummy.
It's really funny because my boss, he always calls me muscle mummy.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And then my other coworker, he said like, why you call it muscle mummy? Because you're not even a mom. And I was like, I don't know. It was really weird. I said, I really don't know where it came from. It's just like, I think strong. It just defines strong girls or women. Yeah. I don't think it has particular something to do with being a mom or anything.
Yeah. Ladies I'm also muscles.
I think so. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, there is this stereotype sometimes, right, that women shouldn't do any strength training because otherwise they'll be too buff. And of course, this is not true. But what do you think about this? Should women, besides just like their legs and their belly, maybe train also, and besides cardio, which is like the usual thing?
Mostly.
Should they also be doing strength training as well, and why?
Yes, I will really encourage that because I do it myself. And when I started training, like before I started streetlifting, I always, when I go into the gym, I always only did legs.
Right.
But just because I didn't know what to do to train my arms. Right. I mean, I could like imagine to do a few more exercises, but I just didn't like them as well. And since I started calisthenics, like my muscles have grown like in 1 year so much. It's just because of calisthenics, because if you go to a normal gym, you will never grow the same amount of muscles as you do when you do calisthenics. So there are a lot of like people, they don't like muscles on women. I think it's really sexy. Right. I like it. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think there is nothing more sexy than like a muscular back for a woman.
Yeah, you said that in the pull-up post I saw.
Yes, yes, I say it a lot because I just love it. And I think that we don't have to, I am doing it myself, but I don't think we have to care that much that what people say.
Yeah, right.
I mean, people say many things and there will always be people that are negative about you. I mean, there are people that tell me like, oh, is it not getting too much? Or and first I thought like, oh, well, maybe, but now I don't care anymore if they say it because I like it and it's my life. And if I want to look like this, then I want to look like this. And also there are people, they say like, you're getting too much, but I cannot grow like in my strength and not gain muscles. So if I want to do my competitions and want to win my competitions, I have to get stronger. And to get stronger, I will grow more muscles.
Right.
So there's not another option. Like growing in your lifts and not getting more muscles.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Super nice. That's very inspiring. I think you'll be, and you are, a big inspiration for many women as well. And you are now saying this super confident, but before you also mentioned that you had some, that you weren't sure, or that you've met a lot of women that aren't sure and not confident in doing this. So it's really great that you are inspiring this. So what can you advise to someone who's worried about these kind of things, like, oh, will I become too muscular, or maybe I shouldn't do this, it's not expected of me or something. What would you say to someone like that?
I think it's really important to just do what you feel comfortable with. Like there are people, they want to train a lot of legs, but they're just not comfortable with training arms because they don't want to get muscular. So if you don't want to get muscular, then you shouldn't do it. But if other people don't like you being muscular, then you should just do whatever you want because, like I just said, it's your life and your body. So do whatever you want with it. I mean, there are also a lot of people that really like you being muscular or think it's really nice on you. So I think like just do whatever you feel like doing. I mean, there will always be people who are negative about it.
Right.
But it's with everything.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Just don't mind them and do your own thing. That's nice. What I would advise, yes.
And then you become, then you break world records, and then you,
Hopefully.
all of that, it's like, indeed, if you do what you love doing, you'll gain so much faster, and your progression is amazing. And then
especially doing calisthenics.
Yeah, for sure. And calisthenics is one thing. Of course, people always want to like learn maybe a pull-up when they start off, or an L-sit, or certain skills. But there are so many ways to go, and also after that you can even get into weighted, right? And I saw in like March last year you did your first weighted pull-ups. I think it was like 4 times 10 kilos. It was the first time you tried it out, and then you have. Yeah, and you said even it's your weakest lift.
My weakest lift,
I mean, still, it's
hate it.
Super impressive. But so nice and very inspiring. And so one thing which I want to put in here is like a section where we discuss questions that someone asked online. Okay. Because you created a video, in the stories we posted it, and we had these questions. So one is from your lovely boyfriend, Jordan, who asked, when 300 kg total?
Ooh, good question.
Talking about your progression, right?
Ooh, let me think about it. So my total score now, it was 273.75. So we have to do more than 25 kgs on top of that.
Yeah.
I want to say at the Europeans, but I think it's really fast. In 5 months, 25 kgs is nothing. No. But I think I can progress in my squat even more.
Do You're now at 165.
Yes, right? 165.
By the way, it was amazing that you started off with already a world record.
Yeah.
And then you just upped it with 10 and then again 7.5 kilos.
I know. I was really happy with my squat because like first I had my muscle up. I mean, it's not bad, but it's also not like really, really strong. And then you have my pull up, and then I saw people at the warming up section like warming up with my starting lift, and I was like, damn.
Right.
And then we had the dip, and I was really nervous for that, so that didn't went. I mean, it was good, but didn't like. I should had the 70, I think. Right. I mean, I did it before many times, and
your record is 71.25, right?
Yes, that's my record. And at camp, I did my last attempt 70. I know it was not. It was not no lifts, but I know I can do it. I know I can do more. So and then I was thinking, okay, let's wait for my squat because then everyone will be like, who is she?
Right.
So total 300. I hope Europeans, but I think it's a bit too early to hit 300. It's only 5 months, 25 kgs. It's a lot. Yeah, but for sure. You never know.
Your muscle up was at 12.5, right?
12.5, yes.
All right. Yeah, so very nice numbers. And I think, I mean, I hope you will do it. And let's see where you get the next months. But you'll hit it very quickly.
I will hit it. I'm sure I will hit it one day, but I just don't know when. I think maybe in the beginning of next year.
Mm-hmm. In all the posts, I also noticed that you are motivated, but also you said like, okay, then if you have the habits, then you'll be disciplined, and you work hard as well. How do you keep motivated, and how do you keep going like this, so consistent as you are?
I don't know actually, because I was thinking about this lately. When I used to go to the gym, I just didn't want to go sometimes. I really was not into training. I didn't felt like training. Yeah. And now I do calisthenics. I literally never have a training where I don't like feel motivated for. I always think, okay, another day, let's go. Yeah. I never had the feeling like I don't feel like going to the gym today or hit my pool day or anything. No, I don't know. So I think it's just I'm really disciplined in what I'm doing at the moment because also because I had competition. So in my opinion, I just had to train because otherwise, if, for example, I wouldn't win the game, I would always tell, if I went to the gym that day, then I would have won my competition.
Right.
So I think it's just a discipline I have at the moment because when I didn't do calisthenics before, I had these days that I didn't want to go to the gym.
So you find the trainings more fun, or is it that you have a goal, like to go to final rep or to compete, or is it your coach? Like, what do you think? Or both?
I think a little bit a mix of the three, yeah. Right. I mean, the trainings, I really love my trainings. They're sometimes like really hard and also really long. Sometimes I'm training like 3 to 4 hours for just one training. But yeah, I don't mind. I mean, it's just for one goal, and the goal was at that moment the competition. But also before I even signed up or think about competition, I really liked my trainings. I was never like, oh, I didn't feel like training. So I think, and also especially for my coach, like he's really motivating me, and he knows exactly like what I need in my trainings to give myself 100%. So I really am glad that I even start with him, because otherwise I will never be here at this point. Nice. So yeah, really happy that he helps with like everything he can.
Yeah, very nice. Next question, also from Jordan, is what's your favorite song for streetlifting?
I knew this was gonna be, because I don't know. Yeah, I know one song, but he always plays the music in the gym, and I have some songs that I really like, but I never know the names because I never see the names.
Right.
So that's a bit of a hard question.
So what kind of genre is it then?
Yeah, it's always techno. I love to listen to techno. Yeah. There's one song, and I always, if I have like a heavy lift or anything, I always put it on. It's like a French song, I think. Okay. Yeah, it's a French song. It's
yeah, I think I know.
Yeah, you know, I think you heard it in I have put it, I think, also under a lot of my videos. Yeah. It's Va sur ton chemin or something. Dolcimo? I don't know. I don't know how you say it.
Sounds legit. Very nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, I always had it since the beginning, and always if it's a very lift, it just gives me like the extra boost to hit that PR or the heavy lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it.
Nice.
But it's a really tricky question because he knows that I don't know anything.
Yeah, exactly. He did it on purpose. Yeah, and then talking about PRs, Dennis asked 200 kilogram squat incoming.
Mm-hmm.
When do you think that goal will be reached?
It's gonna take some time, but I'm sure that is my goal with squat, like 200 kgs. Right. I think it's really nice if one day I will hit the 200 kg squat. Well, I don't know. I think it takes some time. If I'm thinking about my progress now, the first thing before I started calisthenics, the only thing I did before was squatting. That's why I think it's pretty strong in my case.
Right.
So I think I don't know. It's really hard to say because
I can imagine.
For last year when I started with my coach, my PR was I think 145. Bad form, high bar, like not good at all. And now 1 year later is 165. So let's say now in 1 year I did 20 grams of kg. So 20 grams, 20 kgs. I'm sorry. So if we will continue like this, then it will be in 2 years. But I don't know if progress is slowing down.
Right.
So hopefully it's hard to say, but I think there was more in my tank when I did the 165 because it went pretty easy. So let's say maybe I can do 170 now. Yeah. So maybe if I train really hard next year.
And you're in the minus 70 class, so that would be almost like 3 times your
body weight.
That's like crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you 2 years.
Yeah, hopefully.
This one is from Joshua, which we also had in the podcast, and he even has the question in here for you later. But what are your favorite cookies?
Obviously, he knows.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, people who really know me good, I really am a chocolate lover.
All right.
I think it's hard for me to live a day without chocolate. Like even if it's a protein bar with chocolate, I am satisfied. But
I saw all of the recipes, including chocolate as well, on your Insta.
Yes, I love it. It's in the family, by the way. Everyone has it. My dad, he's obsessed with it. My mom as well.
Really?
So, especially like Nutella, and that's what Joshua always now is
referring to.
Yes. We have the Nutella cookies, like the small ones with the chocolate inside. And then, because he works in the Lidl, they have the fake ones, and they're even better than the original Nutella cookies, and also really like cheap.
Yeah.
And
so you
they're
have
really
a whole
nice.
Closet at home full of those.
No, if I don't buy it myself, I don't eat it.
All right. Good,
mostly I never buy it, but also at work, sometimes it's really hard to combine because I work in a restaurant and there's just always food. Right. People take chocolate. There are always fries. There's always bread. There's always food that you can just like quickly eat.
Right.
So it's really hard sometimes to combine like the your diet if you work in a restaurant.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people can relate actually.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, try my best, and we have good and bad days sometimes.
For that you meal prep, right?
Yeah, I always meal prep my food, but sometimes, of course, you eat something at work as well. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard sometimes, but I mean, like I said, you have good and bad days. Sometimes that's the bad thing about myself. If I, in the morning, for example, I eat something bad, and then I think, okay, I messed up for the whole day, and then the whole day I will be eating. Jordan hates it about me. He says, like, it's so stupid. And then I make it, it's like just... For example, I eat one M&M and I think, the whole day is fucked up.
The whole bag.
Okay, let's eat everything I want.
Okay.
So, yeah.
The next one is also from Joshua. It's the last one. Is there a skill or exercise you still want to learn / master? Yes, actually, because there were some things that I really wanted to learn after the competition. Mm-hmm. Because in the training of my competition, you cannot go off your program because... Right. Yeah, you might get injured or anything. Mm-hmm. So there were a lot of things that I wanted to try after like doing the competition. Right. Otherwise, I think my coach will kill me as well. But there were like I wanted to learn a handstand push-up. Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried it actually after competition.
Right.
There is one skill I tried to learn. It's not even, I don't think it's even a skill. It's like super easy, I think, and I can do it, but I just don't dare to do it. It's like I can do handstand L-sit, but I want to do it the other way around, and I know I have the strength, but I just can't. I tried it a lot of times. I think, first of all, I wanted to learn like front lever, back lever, but I don't know if it's possible and nice for me to learn. I mean, it takes some time, and I don't have the time because now we have to train 2 Europeans as well.
Right.
So, yeah, there was one thing I really wanted to learn. Actually, I could already do it. It's like a bar muscle up. It's really, before I started ring muscle up, I could do bar muscle ups like almost clean. And then I went to the rings for competition, and I can do 12.5 kgs ring muscle up, and I cannot do even 1 bar muscle up. I mean, I have the strength, but like the coordination and stuff, I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. But this week I have been training every day, just a few muscle ups to try. And yesterday, actually, I did like 2 or 3, but not clean at all. But there's a start again. But I think I really should. It just sounds stupid. You can do 12.5 kgs ring muscle up and not even 1 bar muscle up.
Yeah, it's interesting. Must be the technique indeed.
I think so, yeah.
Otherwise.
So now I will like keep this in my trainings a little bit if my coach approves, because I don't want to like not getting used to it again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
This podcast episode was sponsored by Berg Movement, and we have been using the Berg Movement app for a while now. We really love it because it has exercises for all kinds of levels. So whether you're a beginner or whether you're an advanced athlete, this has something for you. So there are 40 plus programs, there are 100 plus workouts, and also 1,000 plus progressive exercises, which will get you to your goals, like for instance, your human flag, your handstand, your one-arm pull-up, but also front lever and planche. There are also mobility exercises, and every workout comes with an extensive warm-up, and also you'll be doing a lot of cool acrobatic movements. The app has a lot of useful methods to prepare your body, and also a lot of unique exercises which we had never thought of before. It's a very well structured program, and it's also easy to switch your progressive exercise to personalize the program, and the app also keeps on updating on the regular. We want to invite you to click the link in the description and get your 7-day trial, and you can cancel the subscription whenever you want. So just give it a shot and you'll thank us later. And for now, let's get back to the podcast.
Cool. So now I kind of want to get into when someone wants to learn or get into calisthenics or streetlifting, like more specific tips, and then specifically for women. Yeah, so you are also a coach.
Yes.
And you are definitely inspiring women, and you can definitely teach them a lot as well. So just before they start, are there things that they need to know, or are there things that are gonna be obstacles, or that you find difficult sometimes when someone wants to start? Or what kind of questions do you get from people who want to start?
Well, I noticed that at this moment I only train girls. And I notice when they come to me, like if we have an intake conversation, and they tell me like I'm not confident in my body, I want to change something, they don't know how to get started, and they don't want to go to a normal gym like we discussed before, because they just get the eyes from everyone and they don't like it. So then they will maybe do 2 or 3 exercises in the corner of the gym, and then they will leave, so they don't feel like they really did a proper training. So they come to me, and also they come to me with the same feeling, like I'm gonna get the ice here and stuff. And after a few, like mostly after the first training, you can just see there's one girl especially, she's called Naomi, and you can just see she was really not confident in her body when she came to me. And just after, like, I think 2 trainings or something like that, she just really was another person. She felt really comfortable in the gym. She loved coming to the gym, first of all, because she didn't like to go to the gym before. And yeah, she has made such a progress since she trained with me. And now she was gone for like a few weeks, and she was like, I don't like it. I'm coming back because now she's starting with me next week because she was like, I cannot do it on myself because I don't want to go to the gym. And also in another gym, she tried another gym. She had the same eyes and she didn't feel confident yet to train in a public gym. Yeah. So now she comes back to have the self-confidence again. And then hopefully we will progress a lot because she already did. So really proud. But
super nice.
I think, like I said before, just people, they don't like to go to public gyms. So I will just suggest to go to a gym that you feel confident in, and then you can feel yourself confident, your body is confident, and then you can like rock your trainings.
Yeah, that's nice. So the place where you train is
the place where you train. I think that's the most important. Yes.
Yeah. All right. And as soon as they find a gym they feel comfortable in, are there other challenges that they might face during their starting?
Well, people always like look up to, for example, me. They say like, oh, I want to do whatever you do, or I want to know pull-ups. But everyone thinks that I like woke up one day and could do 10 pull-ups. But I also worked for it. I mean, I also was like at the same position as the person who's in front of me. Like my personal trainer, training girls, for example. They like look up to me and they are sometimes mad at themselves if something is not working for them. For example, they do a pull-up and they have to do 3 and they do 2 and then the third one like they can make it. And then they're mad, and I really know the feeling, believe me, because I had it before a lot of times. But I always say like it takes time. Just progress is not always only the way up. It goes like it's like a bumpy ride, you know. I had the same thing, and people always they don't see that we have been through this as well, because they only see you being at the top, but we're also not at the top yet. I mean, you have to train hard, of course, but if trainings don't go well, just think that we had it as well. You're not the only one like failing your lifts or anything. It's normal.
It's we all have the journey.
Yeah, it's just part of the journey. Yeah.
And you can you said this as well in many posts where you talked about sometimes you missing your lift, that you just have to focus on how far you already got, because you can be proud of where you already are, and
of course
it's just the beginning. You still have a lot of time in front of you.
Just think about it. There are people not even going to the gym. You're already going to the gym, so you're one step closer to your goal.
Nice.
Yeah. Right. And also, like a challenge for girls sometimes can be like being on their period. I noticed there are a lot of girls that feel really weak when they're on their period, like don't feel like training. For me, I'm the opposite. I always am really strong when I'm on my period. So, I mean, you might like on your daily basis, you might not feel like 100%, but always if I'm in the gym, I even feel better if I go to the gym when I'm on my period. So I think there are a lot of women that feel also uncomfortable when they're in the gym while on their period. But I think it just needs to be like normalized, because we all know women gets their period, and I mean, it's just part of our life. So it needs to be normalized, I think.
Right. I have not much experience with this, of course,
no,
but
I don't think so.
do you then plan also around that period, that you, for instance, do trainings before or after, or you just train anyway? Because some, as you said, some women then are weaker, and then they just skip the training in that period, or they just...
Yeah, well, in my case, I don't plan around, because normally the only thing that really is in the way sometimes is that your body is holding like a lot of fluids and stuff, and sometimes I'm just like 2 to 3 kgs like heavier. Wow. So of course, when I'm on my period and I have pool day and I'm 3 kgs like more, then it's not nice, because
it's extra weight.
It's extra weight, yeah, of course. Crazy. But in my case, I don't plan my trainings around. But I can imagine if there are people that feel really horrible when they're on the period. I mean, everyone is different, every woman is different, so it's possible. Then you can plan around if you feel better or more comfortable planning around your period. Of course, like I said before, you have to do what feels good for you.
Yeah.
So I think it's an option. If you feel really weak, then plan around.
And sometimes you can't plan around, like for instance with final rep Benelux, right?
Yes, getting my period the evening before before a competition. Yeah, I was. I mean, it's every 4 weeks, so I knew I was gonna have it, but I was really worried about the weight in, because if I was 2 to 3 kgs more, then I wouldn't hit my minus 70 category.
Right.
But I don't know. I think really my body, like, I think it felt like there was a competition coming, because I really regularly like have my period, so every 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And so the day before my competition, I got my period, but I didn't gain weight. And normally I always do. And I was like, maybe it's just something else this month. And then it was only one day I had my period. It was really weird, because normally I had it 2 to 3 days. And then the week after, I was on the scale and I thought 73.
Really?
Yeah. The week after, I got my period again, and then I got it like normally.
Yeah.
So it's really weird. I think maybe because of the stress or the tension from the competition, I didn't get it all the way. So I was really happy that my body was like not like too heavy or not got any heavier for my competition, because normally it does. I just think that it spared me.
and it went completely fine during the
because I knew already, because my coach was really funny. He was really happy. The day before, I told him we were eating food, and I was like, I just got my period. And he was like, yes, you're really strong when you got your period. He was like really happy. He was like, you did all your hours when you're on your period, so tomorrow is gonna be just fine. I was like, okay, I'm good.
Nice. Very cool.
So for everyone, it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also one girl, she trains at Josbos and more, and she always feels horrible. And that's what I said, like, everyone is different, so just do what you feel good with when you're on your period.
Right. And about differences, compared to men, are there also other things that women, for instance, I heard at some point that women sometimes have need longer rest times, for instance, during between trainings, for instance, or that they heal less quick, or that their muscles grow less fast. Is this the case, or how do you feel there? Is there any difference in, for instance, the speed that you progress, or other things that?
I don't know, actually, because I never heard of like having like women have more longer sore muscles than men. I never heard of it.
All right.
Could be, but I just never heard of it. So I don't know. I think that it's kind of the same. I think that men do progress like more muscles in the same time as women could do. But I mean, if you are just gymming, like I said, I went to the gym for 3 years. I was a bit muscular, not really muscular. In 3 years, I do half a year calisthenics. I'm muscular. So I think that's the most, like, calisthenics just grows more muscles than gym. But I don't know if like there's a lot of difference in between men and women.
All right.
I never noticed or saw it in videos.
A friend of mine, she also does muscle ups, also on the bar. She kind of did it, not perfectly clean, but she was kind of, that's just one difference, that ladies have breasts. So like the getting around the bar was more difficult for her than it might be for a man. And also it might hurt when you get into the transition and you don't hit properly.
I had it before. I know the feeling. Yeah. But
so with the specific exercises, that might be one difference. That if
I think so. I think that sometimes there are some things in the way, it could be, but it was really funny that you say this, because I saw one video the other day, and there was a girl doing a muscle up, and she had like not really big, but she had boobs, and she fell right under her boobs, and then she did as a cap. She said, "Does this count as assisted muscle up?" Exactly. It was so funny. Nice. So I don't know. I mean, mine are not really big, so I don't have really much problems with it. But I can imagine that it
might be different.
Yeah. I can imagine.
I was wondering about this as well, like why women get to do the ring muscle ups and men don't. Is this because also maybe that?
I was thinking about this yesterday because there was for somebody, Jordan, he tried out ring muscle up yesterday for the not for the first time, but weighted for the first time.
Right.
And then somebody asked me why men are not allowed to do ring muscle ups. I said, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I really don't know,
I was
actually.
also curious about it.
No, I don't know why. Because women can choose, men cannot.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
For the rest, there are not differences in the competition, right?
No.
No, same.
The same.
Chin up or pull up. This is
Chin
a
up or
decision
pull up.
both.
Both categories can, or women and men can choose whatever they want.
So, are there any other tips that, if some lady comes to you and wants to start, what kind of exercise or anything specifically?
I think it's really good to first start with the basics because we did as well. I see people trying to get a muscle up before they cannot even do like 3 proper pull-ups or stuff. Just don't try it because you might get injured. You get frustrated at yourself because you cannot do a muscle up. Of course you can because you can't do 3 pull-ups, for example. So my tip is just start with the basics. We did the same thing. I just did first a lot of sets and reps, only body weight. If you're finish your sets and reps, like set a goal for yourself. For example, 10 pull-ups. If you reach the goal, then you can try weighted. If you try weighted, then there are different stages of like training, and especially if you have like a good coach. Like for my example, like I didn't have any. I didn't know anything about calisthenics, so in my case, it was really good to have a coach that just told me, okay, this is what you're gonna do, and I did, and it worked out. So maybe also a tip, if you don't know how to get started, like find help, find a good coach, find good personal training, watch YouTube videos, anything like that. But be careful with like trying things on your own because you don't want to get yourself injured and not trying them for a long time because you're injured. So start with the basics and build from that. It's really a tip from me because that's helped me grow the way where I am now. Yeah.
Also, you have a man as a coach. Do you think that there are women that would prefer being coached by someone like you, like a woman?
Yeah, I think so, because when I started like as a personal coach last November, I think. I'm in your sport more. I'm the only like woman who's coach there, and it was not really the idea to only coach women, but there are only coming women to me. So I think there are just more women that feel comfortable, like training with getting trained by a woman, and also I think that they are really like I said. People, they look up to you as well, so they just like to train literally with their inspiration. Yes, so I think there's a preference for everyone. Like I think there are a lot of women they would love to have a girl coach. Yes, but also you have women and they don't mind.
Right. So because do you think there would be a difference? Like for instance, why do you have a male coach? I think there a choice even, or was it just because Hassan's a great coach? Yeah.
No. I don't know. Jordan, my boyfriend, he started with Hassan as a trainee, and then I was thinking at the time, why do you need a coach? Because in my opinion, Jordan was like one of the highest, like he could do the most things as a person that I knew. So I was thinking, why do you need a coach? Right. And then I saw like the programs that he did and the trainings that he had, and he was having so much fun in trainings. And then I was thinking, okay, maybe like I should get started as well because I was really bored, like going to the gym. So for me, I think it was not like a question like, oh, am I going to a female or a male? Because I already had a good person like coaching my boyfriend. So for me, it was really easy to also go to him and ask for coaching.
Right.
But I don't know if there are a lot of like women that are calisthenics coach.
Right.
So
do you think like if there would be more female coaches like yourself, and that it would help the sport be more welcoming for ladies?
Of course, I think so.
All right.
Yes, I think there's like I said, people are just like, especially women, they just don't feel comfortable mostly with men because they are the ones that getting the eyes from in the gym.
Right.
So taking the next step, like going to a personal trainer, I think the step is easier if they go to a woman than to a man. So I think, that if there are more like female coaches, that it will help to grow the sport even more.
Nice.
Think so.
I hope that happens, and then with more inspiring women like yourself and coaches, and with more places where women feel welcome, like your sports are more, and also then more athletes and more female athletes competing in comps, and there's more categories and so on, and everything can grow when it comes to the competition sport. But also I hope that in calisthenics parks you'll see more women, because calisthenics as a whole grows more and is welcoming. That's super nice.
It is growing a lot.
Is there anything you still want to add to that? Because like that, what more can we do to make more women come to the sport?
I think that there are also not much like gyms like for calisthenics.
Calisthenics gyms, yeah.
I mean, I train in a calisthenics gym, of course, and I think I cannot even count them on one hand, right, how many gyms there are for especially calisthenics. So, but I don't know if it will help the problem, because there are not a lot of people doing calisthenics, because like we said, it's growing. But you see a lot of people training outside. So maybe if there are more gyms, then more people will come to the gym and even try it out. I mean, like I said also before, there are no people that tried it and didn't like it. So if there are more gyms, then people can come and try, and then they might like fall in love with the sport and keep doing it. And then we will grow the sport. Nice. I think we just need more people who really care about the sport and want to grow it, because we all have people that compete, but we also need people who organize competitions, and can also be competitions just like we did a few weeks ago at Jos Amor, a PR day for all the people that are getting trained by Jordan or me or any other trainer. And you just see how happy people are that day, because for them that day felt like our competition day, and it's just really nice that you can share the same feeling, like hitting PRs, and it's a really special feeling in my opinion. It's just like a really good community, and I'm really happy that I'm in it, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Couldn't live without it.
It's very nice. And also with NCA, right? With, for instance, like having a course where people can become coaches, but also with the jam that he had and the vibe that's there, and everybody just motivating each other. It's super nice. Yes. So
really happy that I did it as well, because obviously, like, I work in a restaurant, I'm training myself, but it's really different to coach people than train yourself, because for myself, I know what's good for my body, but you have to also have to learn somebody what's good for their body, and not just for me, because everyone is different. So I'm really happy that I did the course, because I didn't do any trainings for like PT, personal trainer or anything. And now I just have something to fall back on. Like, I know how, like, all the muscles in your body and stuff. So also if someone is having like problems or having some like injury or anything, we can help like prevent it. Or so I'm really happy that I did NCA.
Nice.
So I have something that people I can ask, oh, did you do something to be personal trainer? And I always said like no, and now I have at least something.
Nice. Yeah, super good. But it's also the whole community thing and that NCA, but also at your sports and more. It's super nice, and I think with more female coaches, it's going to be an amazing.
It's going to grow insane.
Open scene, and indeed, together we make the sport grow.
Yes, hopefully. Yes, I think there is like I said before, like in a few years, maybe next year already. Like I think we will outgrow like everything. We'll get so big. Yes.
Very nice. So we have one more last thing before we finish the podcast episode. So this one was asked by Joshua. So you can take the question.
I have to take it?
Yeah, sure. I have no clue what it is. So you can read it out loud and then answer it. And actually I will also answer it. That's also tradition.
Sorry?
I will answer the same question.
Okay, good.
Maybe it's not. What's the question?
What do you think about the video assistant referee at calisthenics competition?
Oh, interesting.
I think he means video assistant referee. Like they can look back the lift, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. 100% sure.
Feed play.
The replay. Yeah. I'm 100% agreeing with that because, for example, also like I always film my lifts because sometimes I just cannot feel if it's, for example, deep enough or anything, and always you have something to fall back on because I think there are like 4 or 5 like referees in the competition, and they might 3 say it's a lift and 2 say it's a no lift. Well, then there's a discussion obviously. So if you look back, then they discuss like okay, this is what I saw and this is what I saw from the other angle, and then they can decide, okay, is it a good or a bad lift? So the same goes with like soccer. They also have the VAR, and I think it's really good.
Yeah, right.
I think they should keep it.
So I will answer the same question. I saw the same system. They used it as well in the Static Cup in Mechelen. And it's anyway, when you want to look specifically at form and even the amount of time that a hold is being held, and in freestyle even more important, because then you can see very dynamic moves where they fly and are very fast and transition, and you might just forget like how did he transition to that move or how hard was that specific part. But also with streetlifting, because it's very much about the details. Yeah. So it's so important, and I really I'm happy that they start implementing this in the sport. Yeah. I really think it will help professionalize it. Big fan.
Me too. I mean, like also in Germany, like Final Rep Germany, the referees were way more strict than in Benelux, and sometimes I was even looking like, what happened here, you know? Yeah. And then because I for me it was a lift, like I saw it on the live video, and then they will replay the video, and then you will see this is where it went wrong. Yeah. So I think it's a really good.
And then you can learn from it, so that's nice.
Yeah. Also people like, for example, my mom, she was there for the first time, and she doesn't know a lot about the sport, obviously, so she had to ask like other people, like, oh, why this doesn't count and stuff, and then later I could, like, for example, like show her like, okay, this is what I did wrong, and now she understands. So also people who are not really like into the sport, they will understand more if they see a replay. Then they can see what's actually wrong, because like sometimes for me it's even hard to see what's wrong, and then they can learn as well.
And during the competition, it's very nice that, for instance, you can have this conversation with your mom, like, hey, look, there's the screen, and then even after the move already happened, she can be like, oh yeah, indeed, I see it, and in slow motion and stuff. So that works.
True, in slow motion as well. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yes.
All right, I really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, me too.
It was very nice, and I hope a lot of ladies got inspired by you and by this conversation as well to get into the sport.
I hope so.
I hope the sport keeps growing and that more women feel welcome to join and to become muscle mommies and
empower girls, girl power.
Girl power, exactly. So I hope you enjoyed this episode as well. So Lynn, thank you for coming, and we hope to see you in the next one. Have a good day.